Hey everyone, welcome to Sir Inc.'s The Experience podcast, where we talk about anything and everything kink. We only cater to adults 18 and above. So remember, this podcast is not safe for work, or as we like to say, NSF.
Remember, you can always listen to us during your private time. Hello, kinky and kinkiers folk out there. My name is Sir Inc. And on this vlogcast, I'm going to discuss with you a very difficult subject for me because I don't have it scripted out the way I would like to, but it's a conversation I've had with a couple different people at different times, and I just thought I wanted to speak on it. And maybe you, the watcher and the listener, can, maybe give me some insight or maybe give me some feedback, and I can do a part 2 to this. And the conversation is about bisexuality and how do you get there? How does one get to going from being straight to gay or being straight to bisexual? And this was a conversation about, I was having a conversation with a friend, and she was speaking to a female friend of hers about a guy. And the guy is now, I guess, dealing with men. And her girlfriend was like, girl, I knew the whole time he was gay. I knew since we was in our 20s he was gay. And he was, bisexual, dealing with men. And my friend was like, no, not necessarily. Like, I didn't see that. And what her conversation was like, people can grow into things of this nature. Far as their sexual appetite can grow into same-sex sex. And I was like, okay, well, let's dig into that. And so, example, she had a conversation with this guy, and he was saying like, I've had so much sex with so many women, I've done so many things that it just ratcheted up. And where do you go to get that dopamine? Where do you go to be sexually satisfied? As you keep ramping up your experiences, regular sex looks like nothing to you. You really won't even get up, literally get your dick hard for regular sex. Or a woman pussy wouldn't get wet for regular sex. Like, because if you ratchet it up so much, your level in your mind, what does it for your libido, right, is not the same, right? So it's almost like you don't want to know what's in Pandora's box, because once you open it up, now you're definitely in, right? And so this is what I think a lot of people, there might be a misconception about bisexuality, but in today's world, we have it where like, oh, well, people are born gay, or, people are born bisexual, all this stuff. Like, who knows? But there are some people who progress into bisexuality. Now, another friend of mine who happens to be a submissive was telling me that her girlfriend, when she got into her 30s, was married, but she started having interest in women. And she talked to her husband about it at the time. Like, listen, I have this urge for women, and can we bring another woman in? And he was hell-bent against it. Their relationship ended up falling apart, and now since then, over the past basically 10 years, all she deals with is women. That's just where her life has progressed. Now, does that mean she's had so much sex with men that she's progressed to being a bisexual woman? No, I'm not saying that either. But what I am saying is, it's not something that was her previous to her 30s. But as she matured into a liking and wanting for a relationship and interaction with women. And so, again, I don't have any fucking answers. I'm not a clinician. I can't give you any kind of clinical phrases or terminology for any of this. I'm just a regular guy having a conversation with people that I'm just bringing to you. And, people would say at one point, like, Magic Johnson's gay. Like, well, why you say that? Well, he kissed Isaiah Thomas. Like, that was some on the court endearing stuff, like a joke, but it wasn't no real gay shit to it. But when you hear a guy might have slept with 9,000 women, He's had, 9 women at one time and things of that nature. Like, where does it, I'm not saying that Magic is gay. Like, please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, I'm just speaking to, like, if you're having sex with nine women at one time, have had sex with 9 women at one time, and has had sex with like 9,000 women, like, where is your libido for just one woman? Or even a threesome? Does a threesome even really do it for you anymore? So if you hear of someone like that being bisexual or being gay, does it really surprise you when these kind of people have had so much access to women and sex? And if you're in whatever environment you're in, if you're in LA, um, it's wide open far as sex. Like the parties you go to, there are certain places, certain cities and towns that just have more of an environment for certain things. You know, but in no way, shape, or form am I saying that Magic Johnson is gay. Let me not. I'm just speaking to, if you had that much sex with that many women and have had, you know, basically orgies with you and none of the women, like, where does your libido go for sex with just one woman? That's gotta be tough, right? Just as well as like Will Chamberlain saying he slept with 20,000 women. Like, that's just absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, when we did the numbers on it, he'd have had to been banging like 2, 3 chicks a day for so many years. It was just some ridiculous number. Like, he lied. I believe he lied. But okay, if he fucked 20,000 women, like, where's his libido to have regular sex? It is really not there. Like, regular sex cannot even get his dick hard because he's had so much of so much. How do you scale it back to the minuscule? It's like hard, right? And I think that in life, people have had a lot of experiences, and some of it comes from abuse in childhood that comes out later on in life as well. Whereas though there are things that happen to you in your childhood that you feel as though may not be right. Maybe you had some bisexual experiences that you didn't ask for, but have been put on you, and then you grow older and you have those urges, and it feels wrong, but at the same time, your body responds in a positive way to it. And I've heard conversations about that. I've read stuff on that. And I mean, that's a horrible situation to be in because you didn't have a choice in what you felt, right? And it's just like people, and I've discussed it before, like women that's been raped, how they felt guilty or they felt guilt because they felt pleasure in a heinous act like that, right? And it's a mind trip. It's fucked up. And this is why consent, non-consent play is so crucial in kink, because it allows someone who's been taken advantage of like that to like kind of take control over a situation and have some resolution um in it. But I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, like again, I don't have no answers. These are conversations that I've been having with people. If you have any kind of input on this, if you're a clinician and you can give me like actual phrasing terminology and more understanding about it, I would appreciate it. Again, I can have these discussions with my friends, and we can help expand people's knowledge base about just general um, things that are like kind of taboo but happen all the time. Again, I had a conversation in the shop one day with my friends, and there was a female. There's a young lady in there with one of my friends, and we were having this conversation. I was like, "Listen, there are a lot of women who have men that are either gay or bisexual that they're married to," and they're like, nah, I don't believe in women." I was like, there are a lot of women who don't mind having a gay or bisexual partner as a man. People are making different kind of deals to have family, to have a mother and a father in a house and a cat and a child. Some people still want that traditional look. And there are a lot of women who just don't care if they have a man that's straight or not, as long as they're together and they negotiate everything else that goes on outside of that. So what I think is not a lot of what's not being talked about nowadays is how much people are negotiating their positions, because especially in the Black community, we don't want to discuss that because it seems bad. We're shamed for being different or wanting different dynamics. So if you're not into the traditional family role, you're looked at as being a little different, maybe a little crazy or sexually deviant, right? But the pastor could be banging a bunch of chicks in the choir, right? A bunch of chicks in the congregation. The deacon could be banging some dude or whatever. Like, it's a lot of stuff that goes on even in the church settings, but it's like okay for that. And they try to keep a hush hush, even though the gossip goes all around. It's kind of okay for that, but it's not okay for you to come out and be like, I'm married to a bisexual woman, or I'm married to a bisexual man, and we're making it work. Like, that's, you know, shamed on in our community. And we just need to have more conversations like this just to open it up. But again, please, um, if you have any comments, questions, or you can enlighten me in any way, please do. Please email me at sirinq09@gmail.com. Like and subscribe. Please leave a comment on this thread. Let me know what you think. You can find me on Sir INQ on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You could always join the community on kingspace.net. Please, just give me an input, because I just want to get the word out to the community that men are talking about these conversations that are not very comfortable. And a lot of times we want to just not ignore it and act like it's not real, but it's things that we're dealing with. And the younger generations, through, the movement of gay marriage, same-sex marriage, and same sex relationships, these conversations are becoming these situations and these relationships are becoming more visible and talked about. And one thing I need guys to do is just open up the conversation. Even if you don't agree with it, that's not a problem if you don't agree with it. But it's things that your kids are going to be dealing with. It's things that your friends' kids are going to be dealing with. It's things that your nieces and nephews are going to deal with, because that's what's going on in their generation. It's important for us to understand where they're coming from before we try to shame them. So these are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching.
That was quite an experience, wasn't it? Tune in again for a fresh release of Sir Inc.'s The Experience podcast.